Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Polio Jr. And in today's video, which is one I've wanted to do for a while, was exercise 2 from Falun Dafa. And long story short, the reason I like Falun Dafa in general is because number one, it is more oriented towards concentration. And the second aspect of it, as always, is there is a relaxation part of it. And the biggest part about Falun Dafa are the controlled movements and how you actually have to keep a level of focus in order to do these movements. So, where they're controlled and they're slow and so forth. So, exercise 2 of Falun Dafa is called Falun Standing Stance. So a little bit redundant, but that's perfectly fine. And there's actually only four. There's only four movements in this exercise, and they're all extremely easy. And of course, since it's only four, it's extremely easy to memorize. But the biggest thing with exercise 2 is it's more of an endurance exercise than anything else. And so what that does is, long story short, is helps you is to improve your focus, and also to once you're finished, you feel a little bit more open, and then everything's relaxed when you're done. So while you're doing it, there might be, you don't want to put a lot of strain on it. You just do it as whatever's comfortable for you, and whenever you feel like you need to stop, I'm going to do these rather quickly, but I would say at least hold every pose to start out with at least 30 seconds to a minute, and then working your way up. So, but that's really the premise of exercise 2 is is the longer the better. So the longer you can hold a certain position, the better. But you will feel like your arms start to get tired and so forth, um, which is obviously not uncommon. So we're going to get right into exercise 2, and we always start at Ji Yin, which is where we're just conjoining our hands, um, pretty much at the lower abdominal region, where our doesn't matter. Right palm is underneath the left hand, both palms facing up, and the thumbs are conjoined. So the first stance is called. It's all very self-explanatory too. Is that so? Excuse me, but we're knees slightly bent. We're in the position of Ji Yin, and our back is straight, but we're also relaxed. And we're going to go into the first pose called it's called holding a wheel in front of the head. That's how self-explanatory this is. So from here, we're going to go from Ji Yin, and all we're going to do is just go. Everything else is going to stay the same as far as where our legs are and so forth. And we slowly start to separate the hands, and we move up to eyebrow level, and the fingers are always pointing each other, so each hand is facing the other hand. So it doesn't matter if the thumbs are out or whatnot, as long as the four fingers on each side are facing each other. That's what matters. And this is a position, like I said, this is an endurance exercise for the most part. But also doing this, you can close your eyes, you can open your eyes, but you just hold to wherever you feel comfortable. So, like I said, starting at around 30 seconds, then maybe slowly moving towards 1 minute. But so we have our fingers facing each other. That's it. And now we want to go down to the second pose, which is also very self-explanatory. It's literally called holding a wheel in front of the lower abdominal area. That's what it translates to. And this is where we move our arms gradually down to the lower abdomen, and they come in a little bit. They're not as separated, and the palms are up, and we're at like the lower abdominal area right here, and the fingers still point each other. Nothing has changed with our legs or anything else. Shoulders are still relaxed, but our back is still as straight as it can be, and armpits are a little bit out. That's really about it. So another pose that you would hold for as long as you possibly can, and then you would move on to the third pose, which is called holding a wheel above the head. So, which is where you are literally bringing your hands directly above your head, and it's almost like a circle because your fingers are still facing each other. But that's all it is. It's called holding a wheel above the head. You hold for as long as you possibly can without absolutely killing yourself. And that's the third pose. That's it. This is a very simple exercise. There's absolutely nothing complicated about this. And now we're going to move to the fourth pose, which is called holding a wheel on both sides of the head. And this is where we go down, and now our fingers are pointing up, pointing straight up. But now the palms were on the side of the head, roughly shoulder width apart. But the palms of each hand are facing each other. And this is literally the fourth pose, holding a wheel on both sides of the head. So that's the direct translation. So it looks a little weird because you're, it almost looks like you're doing that, field goal pose or like touchdown pose. And like I said, for each one, you just hold as long as you can for the endurance quality. Because when you finish, it's very similar to when you are tightening up muscles and then letting them go. The relaxation kind of takes over the part that felt stiff and so forth. And so now from the fourth pose, all we're doing is slowly coming down, very slowly. And then the palms, one palm is on top of the other. So, and at least in Falun Dafa, the right hand goes over, I'm right at the lower abdominal area. The right hand goes over the left hand for men, and vice versa for women. Personally, I do not think it doesn't sincerely matter. What matters is that you are actually able to concentrate and have that relaxing feeling, that relaxed feeling after you're finished. So yeah, it's really just that simple. So and then you can go from here, and then it doesn't matter. But as long as you just finish right there, it's perfectly fine, because from there you would basically go directly into exercise 3. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it felt like a very simple video, and exercise 2, the Falun Standing Stance, is extremely simple. There is nothing complicated about it. So, and just to reiterate, it is more about, it's definitely more about endurance and concentration, but the relaxation aspect of it comes afterwards. It comes after you've held whatever you could for whatever pose as long as you could, and then going down after you're finished, you're like, oh yeah, that's the sweet spot. So it just kind of opens you up altogether, essentially, afterwards, and in the process of doing it, you're able to focus a lot better. So something I do every day, regardless of what exercise it is. So hope this was beneficial for anybody out there, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.